Bonsai! I'm the Cobra Kai kid, and we finally have confirmation on Tory's true identity. Ever since the announcement that Hayden List would be joining Cobra Kai Season 2 as a new character by the name of Tory, fans have been speculating who this character was. A lot of fans thought that she was Ali's daughter, some fans even thought she was Terry Silver's niece, and other fans thought that she was the granddaughter of Kreese. The theories for the character of Tory and the speculation on who she was related to were wild. Then when we first saw her in the Cobra Kai Season 2 trailer, this is how we were introduced to Tory.
My name's Miguel.
Tory. With a Y.
And if you ever watched the original Karate Kid movie, you would know that that line is very reminiscent to this line spoken by Ali to Daniel.
Hey, you got a name?
Ali with an I.
Now, a lot of fans took this as Tory being Ali's daughter. A lot of people thought that because they said a similar thing that it might mean that they're related. But the truth is, if Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson said he likes hamburgers and then I said it too, doesn't mean we're related. Just means we're saying something similar. Or I guess if you're trying to explain that Tory's Ali's daughter, you could say that Ali taught Tory that whenever she introduced herself, it has to be Tory with a Y. So maybe when Tory has a daughter, she'll pass on her mom's teachings, and she'll name her daughter Jackie with an I-E, not a Y. Alright, sorry about that. Let's get to who Tory really is. Now, when watching Cobra Kai Season 2, there were two moments regarding Tory's character that really stood out to me, and both came from the same episode, which was Season 2, Episode 6, Take a Right. When Johnny found out that Tommy was sick and had to go visit him, Kreese took over the Cobra Kai dojo and was teaching the students himself using his own methods. In this episode, we finally get a background on Tory, and we also have another big hint on who she's related to. So if we want to understand as much of Tory's backstory as possible, we have to look at the one scene where we really get some information on her childhood and where she grew up. When Miguel starts to question Sensei Kreese's methods of teaching, Tory explains,
"My mom worked at this restaurant when I was little, and she'd bring home leftovers, so my brother and I had enough to eat. When her manager found out, he fired her. He said it was against company policy. She wasn't stealing. The food was gonna end up in the trash."
Now, if we're still considering the theory that Tory's Ali's daughter, let's take a look at this scene between Daniel and Johnny at a bar where they talk about Ali's occupation.
Maybe she met some guy in med school.
Ali's a doctor now? Wow. I knew she was smart, but I figured she was hot enough to avoid work.
Yeah, she's a pediatric surgeon. Her husband's an oncologist.
A pediatric surgeon and a waiter are definitely not the same thing, so unless Ali had two jobs, I think her being Tory's mom is very unlikely. Now let's take a look at this other scene from Cobra Kai Season 2 Episode 6, Take a Right, when Kreese is explaining to his students that when one person makes a move, they all make a move. Before explaining this though, he calls out the names of everyone in the dojo to say that you were also the one who trashed the Miyagi-Do dojo.
Would you really like to know who did it? It was Hawk. And it was Diaz. And Robinson. And it was Nichols, Chubbs, Red.
Now we knew most of the names that Kreese was referring to. Hawk was obviously Eli, Diaz was Miguel, Robinson was Aisha, Chubbs was Stingray, but then Kreese says Nichols, and we have no idea who is Nichols. Now, a lot of people thought that when Kreese said Nichols, he was referring to Tory's last name. I also saw this being very likely because Tory was standing right next to Miguel and Hawk, so why would Kreese just ignore her in the list? However, when Kreese calls out Hawk, you can see that everyone's looking at him and the camera is focused right on him. Then when Kreese says Diaz, everyone's looking at Miguel. Then when Kreese says Robinson, the camera shifts to Aisha and everybody's looking at her. But when Kreese says Nichols, the camera is still on Aisha, so you don't know who he's referring to because they're not actually showing you. And if you look even closer, when Kreese says Nichols, the people that weren't facing Aisha's direction turn towards her and away from Tory. So if they're saying the last name of Nichols, you would think that everybody would be looking in Tory's direction, but they were actually looking in the opposite direction, which may lead some to believe that she is not Nichols, that Kreese was not referring to Tory. And this leads us into a recent Q&A from Cobra Kai writer John Hurwitz. A fan by the name of Ben Rudin asked John, was Tory whom Kreese referred to when he said Nichols? Hurwitz simply responds, yes. So while I'm still confused that when Kreese called out Nichols, everyone turns in the opposite direction of Tory, we have confirmation from Cobra Kai writer John Hurwitz that Tory's last name is Nichols, and that's who Kreese was referring to in Season 2, Episode 6. And we know that when Ali got married, she changed her last name to her husband's, which was Schwarber, so we can pretty much confirm now that Tory is not Ali's daughter. We can also confirm that she's not Kreese's granddaughter, she's not Terry Silver's niece, and she's not Chosen's long-lost sister. I think this is confirmation that she's not related to anyone we already know, and I think this is a very good thing because the more people who are related to one another, the smaller the universe gets, and with Cobra Kai, I really believe they're trying to expand the universe and make it big with a lot of different characters. But if everyone's just related, it's gonna feel like it's this tiny little universe, and it's not gonna really seem that realistic. Now, while Tory may not be related to anyone we already know, it doesn't mean that we're not going to get any more backstory on her. I think there's still a lot more to discover with her character. I think we're going to find out a lot about her childhood, her upbringing, and why she's this vicious, angry person. And we kind of already know, she explained that a little bit, but I think we're going to get a lot more with that in Season 3 because there's definitely a lot of mystery that revolves around her character. So I'm very excited to see her character fleshed out more in Cobra Kai Season 3 and really understand where she's coming from with her approach in life. Honestly, this is giving me a whole Last Jedi vibe because everyone thought that Tory was related to someone, and now we're finding out that she's most likely nobody.
Do you want to know the truth about your parents? Say it.
They were nobody.
They were filthy junk traders who sold you off for drinking money.
So unless there's some sort of big twist and someone we already know from the Karate Kid universe changed their last name to Nichols and named Tory Nichols, I think it's fair to say that Tory is not related to anyone and she's just a new girl joining Cobra Kai, trying to fit in and doing her thing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications and drop a like if you enjoyed this one. Share the video with your friends and let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about John Hurwitz's response being that Tory is Tory Nichols. Do you think it's now fair to say that she is not related to anyone we already know, or do you think she's still Ali's daughter or Terry Silver's granddaughter or something along that lines? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time on Cobra Kai Kid. And remember, Cobra Kai never dies.
Oh, are you okay?
Oops. Sorry, princess.